What's up, guys? I'm Matt with the Outer Rim, welcoming you to this week's special edition of our Thursday night Kessel Run series. Our normal series involves multiple rounds where we crown a champion as a smuggler of the week, but instead this week we're going to feature one of our newer players going up against one of our veteran players. On the left we have Melvin, our veteran, playing Snoke and Tarkin. Kenny, our newer player, is going to be on the right. He's going to be playing the Gungan deck of Elite Jar Jar, Boss Nass, Gungan Warrior. Kenny will be running the Battlefield Arena of Death, which will deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent for every defeated character you have. And of course, Melvin will be running his Steed Royal Palace. Both of these sides are going to be looking to get as much indirect damage on the table as possible. Kenny's indirect will come from rolling out Gungans, rolling blanks. Melvin's will come from power actions on Tarkin, and Snoke's power action onto Tarkin himself with indirect. So we have the roll off. Looks like Melvin won. Melvin's going to take his. Doesn't want to deal with the claimability on the Arena of Death. Kenny will take the 2 shields on Boss Nass. And looks like we are primed and ready to go. It'll be Melvin's action first. In this 2-wide meta, seeing a Gungan deck with multiple health, up to 28 health, especially with 2 shields, 30 health now, it's going to be a lot to chew through for Melvin. We'll see how well he can obtain that. So Melvin will power action first, gain an extra resource. Kenny rolls out his Gungan. There's a blank. It's an indirect that goes on Snoke. Decent start for Kenny so far. Melvin pays 1 for the force jump. In this game, the force jump is going to be more for the blank size to Tarkin power action than it is going to be to deal damage or to block damage. All right, there's a 2 indirect on the second Gungan from Kenny. Melvin goes ahead and plays a force speed on Snoke. Those sides will pair well with the force jump. Kenny's going to hold on to Jar Jar in case damage shows up on the field to use Jar Jar's ability. Now Melvin can let our force Kenny to activate Jar Jar at any point. Boss Nass rolls out. He hits the 1. Melvin will roll out Tarkin. Get a 2 indirect and a 2 focus. And there's Jar Jar. So that'll reroll everything that is not indirect and not a resource. On that, we get a 2 focus and a blank on that reroll. There's a Snoke power action. He'll deal 1 to Tarkin and deal 4 indirect to Kenny. More than likely, Kenny will spread this out. Okay, and that's what he does. So 1 on each character, which will take a shield off a boss. Big Kenny's action. I see a dangerous maneuver there. Looks like a garbage chute as well. Garbage chute's going to be out of play this round. He would need a unactivated character in order to use that. Snoke is still yet to activate for Melvin. And he just ditches the garbage chute to reroll. Not bad. He hits 2 indirects. Melvin goes ahead and goes for the overconfidence, it looks like. Yep. He's going to have him re-roll the 2 Gungan die. Alright. Get a 2 indirect and a 1 resource. A 1 resource will go away. Can you resolve the indirect sides? That'll be a total of 5 indirect. He'll probably try to put as much of that on Snoke as he can to keep Tarkin alive. I think you want to go ahead and put that on Snoke, yeah. Because the power action from Snoke onto Tarkin is going to put extra damage on top of him. So go ahead and put it on Snoke. That'll allow you to ping for extra damage going forward on Tarkin. So Snoke's now at 7 health. Not yet activated, and Tarkin is at 8 health with a focus on the board still. Melvin going to roll out Snoke. There it goes. Alright, Melvin rolls a focus, special, 1 shield, and a 2 indirect. Special on the 4 speed will allow him to take 2 additional actions. Kenny goes ahead and just resolves the resource on Jar Jar. So all of Kenny's dice are off the table. Kenny has 3 resources and 4 cards in play. Melvin's got some focus here. He can 4 speed to once again take those 2 additional actions to get all that damage out before Kenny can do anything about it. Alright, so Melvin will use the focus on Tarkin. Okay, he focuses to the 2 indirect. And he focuses to the special on the force jump, which I find interesting. Kenny has no dice in the pool, so the special really doesn't do anything for him at this point. He goes ahead and takes the 4 indirect. Kenny's going to put it on the Gungan, and there's the first aid to heal that 4 right off. So Melvin now... So the special's still showing on the table there for Melvin. Kenny will go ahead and claim. And we move on to round 2. So Melvin goes ahead and throws out a anger and a force push. So Kenny has 4 resources now. I see a Gungan catapult come out, and that's the first thing he does. Pays the 4 for the Gungan catapult. That'll help up the indirect ante. Kenny's board state is not bad after round 1, only taking 1 indirect damage on each of his Gungans, including Boss, who took 1 on the shield. Melvin's board state's pretty good though as well. He's got a 4 speed already out, a force jump. He's got a chance cube in hand. I see a hidden motive as well. He decides for now he's going to go ahead and activate Tarkin. Try to apply some early damage, early threat. Rolls out, gets a 2 discard and a 2 indirect. He can kill Kenny's hand. Kenny immediately rolls out the catapult and gets a 3 disrupt. So Melvin's got a chance here to really kill Kenny's hand for the round. Not sure if Kenny quite saw that coming. He went pretty hard for that Gungan catapult play early. I think I might would have waited on that and try to mitigate the 2 discard side, if possible. Yep, and there's the power action from Melvin. He's going to deal 1 to Tarkin. And that's going to kill Kenny's hand. He paid for the catapult already. So all Kenny can do now is just resolve. So he's going to disrupt Melvin for his 3 resources. That'll keep Melvin off the fist definitely for a little while. See the Sith Holocron. There's another 4 speed in Melvin's hand. Melvin's going to drop the 4 speed down. It's probably the smart play right now because you don't have the resources to roll in an ability if you had one in hand. Kenny rolls the first Gungan out, gets a resource. Melvin's going to go ahead and activate Snoke. Not bad. It gets a 2 indirect, a special, a shield, 2 focus, and another shield. Think if you're, yep, that's the exact play I would go for. Good decision. Roll out Jar Jar. He rolls a shield and a blank. So everything that's not a shield and a blank will be re-rolled. Which includes the Gungan resource. Yep, so all that right there for Melvin will have to be re-rolled. Kenny rolls a blank on the Gungan. And when Melvin re-rolls it, he does hit the special again on 4 speed. And two indirects. So he's got some options here. That indirect can pile up really fast on Melvin's side if he allows it to. 4 speed there, going to take 2 additional actions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So there's just straight up indirect. And then he's going to use a power action on Tarkin on the 2 shield sides to deal 4 more indirect. So just like that, we have 8 indirect. Kenny once again going to try to spread that out as much as possible. Has both of his regular Gungans at 2 health remaining. Jar Jar's at 4. Boss Nass is still at 8, so pretty healthy. Kenny power actions for the resource off of Theed. Melvin's dice are out of the pool, so he has moved fairly quickly through this round. Drops a holocron down. Kenny still has yet to activate Boss and the other Gungan. So there's the Gungan. Gets a shield. Melvin drops Chance Cube on Tarkin. He's just emptying his hand at this point. I don't think Melvin really has any mitigation. If he does, he can't use it. He has no resources to pay for it. So Boss Nass rolls a 2 indirect. And Melvin does have a hidden motive. Probably call indirect. No, he calls blank. Good call. So that will come off for calling blank. Kenny resolves for the shields. Melvin will just go ahead and claim. Take initiative for the next round. So Kenny's a little bit behind on the damage curve, but with the combination of the catapult and all the Gungan indirect, he can get in this real fast. The Gungan 6 indirect pay 2 side can really put some hurt on a 2-wide deck. And with the ability on the catapult, each time he activates a Gungan, he can re-roll the catapult die for free. So if he rolls a blank one time, no problem. He's got 3 other Gungans he can activate to try to re-roll. Melvin's going to pay 1 for the Chance Cube, roll out Tarkin. Go. Lots of focus. So we got some, and Kenny goes ahead and activates Jar Jar. Jar Jar hits a resource and a shield, so that's going to reroll everything except for the Chance Cube for Melvin. Reroll, he hits a +1 resource on the holocron, 1 resource and a 2 indirect on Tarkin. That 2 indirect is going to be 4 real quick, and that'll... I'm not sure where he's going to be able to take that. He's going to take it on Boss and Jar Jar. Here's Snoke. Snoke rolls a special once again on the 4 speed. A blank, a 2 focus, a 2 indirect, and a shield. He rolls out the catapult. It's a blank. That does not trigger the 1 indirect because it's not a character. It only has to be character dice that can roll blanks in order for the Boss Nass ability to trigger. Melvin's got lots of options here to deal multiple ways of indirect, and with that 4 speed, he can do whatever he wants. Okay, so there's our 4 speed. He has enough focus on the table to focus to what he wants to. You use at least one of those focus on the second 4 speed to be able to take 2 additional actions afterwards. So we should see at least 8 indirect damage coming towards Kenny right now. At minimum. Right now, Melvin doesn't need the resources. He doesn't need to try to resolve for resources. He needs to try to match sides and completely just obliviate Kenny's Gungans. Snoke resolves the focus sides, and he does exactly what we talked about. He's going to use the second 4 speed now. 2 additional actions. There's your Snoke power action. That'll deal 4 indirect. He'll have to deal the 1 damage to Tarkin still. It's going to put Tarkin at 6 health. Okay, so Kenny takes 2 on the shields and puts 1 on each of the Gungans. And then there's your Tarkin power action. Melvin still needs to make sure to put that extra damage on Tarkin for the power action off of Snoke. Okay, so it looks like he decided just to do the 2 indirect instead of the power action on Tarkin. Yeah, I think Kenny's showing Melvin now he needs to take the damage from the power action, correct. Yep, there we go. Got that resolved. So Melvin still threatens 4 more indirect. Kenny still has 3 Gungans to activate. There's a blank. That's a free indirect. And he can reroll the Gungan catapult. Hits a disrupt. He needs to hit an indirect side. He needs to hit a big indirect side on that. And there's your second power action off of Tarkin. That'll be 4 more indirect. It's a good call there by Melvin. Go ahead and just push the damage forward. There's 2 on the Boss Nass. That's 4 health remaining. Kenny, that's going to be 7. That's going to be a dead Jar Jar if he keeps it like that. And he's going to change it. He's got to put it on Boss. He can't put it on any of the other Gungans. Yep. So Jar Jar and the 2 Gungans are each at 1 health remaining, and Boss is at 3 health remaining. So 6 health total. Gungan rolls out. He's going to allow him to reroll the catapult. The catapult hits a blank again. Melvin's just going to resolve the shield. Puts that on Tarkin. There's a disrupt off a Boss. Melvin going to go ahead and just use the discard. Or use his pro, excuse me. So Kenny still has a Boomas in hand. He was able to get rid of one of the events. Here's a dumb luck play. It allows Kenny to reroll up to 5 Gungan dice. And he'll do indirect for each one that's a blank. So there's 1 indirect. You gotta hope for at least 2 or 3 there. If you're Kenny, you have to reroll. Melvin's got 1 resource, and he's got quite a few cards in hand, but you're still gonna have to try to push the narrative here and get as much damage, especially on Tarkin, as possible. Okay, so Melvin passes. Kenny will discard the Boomas to reroll everything. He's definitely hitting some blanks. Hits a blank, a resource, a disrupt, and a resource. None of that's really going to do him any good at this point. Melvin's got a force wave. Couldn't see what else he's got there. Kenny drops an On the Mark. That's a new card from across the galaxy. It's going to allow him to resolve any indirect for that whole round has direct damage or ranged. So he can target Tarkin if he needs to. He discards his first aid to re-roll instead and gets a blank, a shield, and a disrupt. Not what he's looking for. So no damage is going to come to Melvin this round. He's going to escape. It's a big turn right there. Having 2 complete discarded re-rolls and not hitting any damage, that's rough. That's going to put Kenny pretty far behind at this point. He had a chance to catch up super quick with that. Alright, so Melvin will power action. Get that additional resource. Kenny's shaking his head. I think he realizes that it's an uphill battle both ways at this point. So he's going to go ahead and just resolve the 1 and resolve it onto Snoke. So Snoke's only at 4 health remaining. There's a claim. Get a disrupt there. A discard. Kenny just going to reach for any card he can get a hold of at this point. Shuffle by Melvin. Get a handheld cannon. That's not going to... Melvin doesn't need that card at this point. Melvin's board state is exactly where he needs it to be against a deck like the Gungans. He doesn't need to push a lot of damage dice. He needs to push a lot of dice in the pool. So we will reset and come to round 4. Melvin will have initiative here. Discards his last force push. Looks like I see a Blaze of Glory in Kenny's hand. That's once again, that's going to be a card that's not going to be very useful in this matchup. It'll be okay here late round because he can, if on a 2 indirect, he can use it to kill off one of his Gungans because he can overkill with that. Melvin activates Tarkin. Oh, we have lost it. Man down on the field. Man down. There we go. Getting our dice back up. Melvin activates Tarkin. Gets a blank, a 2 indirect, and a 1 focus. Kenny will roll out his Gungan catapult and hit the disrupt side again. Melvin thinking about activating Snoke. I think you got 2 blanks on the field. Go ahead, get your Tarkin power action. Get your 4, because Kenny's going to have to kill somebody. There's no way. I mean, he would have to put boss at 8 and then take the shield off. Alright, so there's 4 indirect. Now he uses the Snoke power action instead, which is fine either way. So he uses the Snoke power action for the 4 indirect. Kenny's thinking about it. He had his 2 Gungans dead first, but it's going to reevaluate. Okay, so there's 2 damage there. 3, 4. Okay, now he's done 5 damage. Now he's done 6 damage. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, so Kenny actually did 5 indirect there. He should have only done 4. That other Gungan should still be alive. To make sure we do our math correctly. Kenny goes ahead and just rolls out the Gungan, gets a resource. That'll re-roll the catapult, which rolls a 6 indirect. Pay 2. He has the money for the indirect. Pretty much Melvin would have to take 3 and 3. That would put... I put Snoke at 1 health and Tarkin at 2 health if he can't mitigate that. I see a force jump in his hand. That's not going to do him any good right now. See a fist in his hand. He does have 2 resources to pay. So he's going to roll out Snoke. Snoke's going to be a disrupt. He gets 2 specials on both of the 4 speeds. A blank and a 1 focus. Ooh, he rolls out Jar Jar, and that's going to re-roll. Jar Jar hits a discard and a shield. Yep, that's going to re-roll the Gungan catapult. Ugh. Yeah, it re-rolls everything else for Melvin, but you have to resolve that 6 indirect. You have to try to push the damage. I mean, you're... Ooh. Alright, so we get a bunch of rerolls here. We get a shield and a 4 indirect still on the catapult on Kenny's side. Melvin rolls out, gets a special, a focus, a shield, a +1 on the holocron, and a blank. He's already Snoke power action. Now he can Tarkin power action for 4. He's got the blank size to go ahead and do that, but he goes ahead and plays a 4 speed to take 2 actions. So he's going to use each of the focus on Snoke to focus 1 die apiece. That'll be his first action. I think Melvin had it already set with the blanks originally. He's thinking about it though. Okay, so he focuses the chance cube to a resource, and once again another target power action is online. There you go. That's going to be it. Yep. That probably could have happened a move or two sooner, but nonetheless, just too many power actions, too much indirect for Kenny and the Gungans to be able to handle. Kenny probably only had a chance if he'd have resolved and then roll out Jar Jar afterwards. But good games to both guys. Congratulations to Melvin on winning, and we will see you shortly with round 2.